Ubisoft are in some serious fucking shit. They are systematically trying to rewrite the narrative in the gaming industry by paying out massive amounts of money to different outlets, news outlets, to write gleaming reviews of stuff that's obviously horseshit.
But we've
i.e.
known this for a
Assassin's
while.
Creed, which looks awful. And the Japanese government have come out and said they don't agree with the cultural appropriation. I'm not sure if they're going to go as far as to having the game banned from Japan, but they are very upset about it, and it's actually going through Japanese parliament as we speak. I don't know if a decision's been made. I've not really been following the story, but for it to be the entire character of Yakuza, or is it what's his name? The tall black chap in Assassin's Creed who's supposedly a samurai. It was all made up or heavily plagiarized by an English professor who wrote an entire book on the character. Was then called out on a radio show because they couldn't find any information in Japanese archives or history about the character at all. He was then called out about it on a radio show, and then he backpedaled and said, well, you know, I've taken some liberties with the character just to make the story more interesting. But then the radio show host then went, but you've written this as historical fact. You've written this book as a historical fact and not historical fiction. So you're saying it's more of a novel than an historical book. And he didn't answer the question. He just backpedaled and ignored the question. If you have a look at the Wikipedia of the character, it's all written by the same very white English professor, history professor, and he's made up nearly the entire fucking story of this character.
Tom Smith or something.
Tom Smith. Yeah, his name's fucking Tom Smith, for fuck's sake. And he's sold this idea to Ubisoft historians, or the people that work on the historical parts of Assassin's Creed, and sold it to him as verbatim and fact. And then they've made this character, and they've gone so far deep in the process, and they're backpedaling and saying, "Oh no, it's definitely true. It's not fiction." But the author of the book, what the character is based on, has come out and actually admitted that he took massive liberties with the story. He changed the character to a degree where it's unrecognizable, and said he was places he wasn't, which then goes against everything they put in the game.
It's just more and more that's being talked about it. A lot of people are angry. If they would have just said it's their own interpretation, a made-up story, completely fantasy, there would have been no issue. But because they made those multiple statements saying it's based upon...
So, like, here we go. So, according to, again, Screen Rant are shills. They are paid to say this stuff. The Times, again, can't believe anything the Times say because they talk shit as well. New York Times, even fucking worse. Again, they want to talk shit. Game Rant used to be a great publication. Again, unfortunately now complete shit. Well, we know about IGN, guys, because all they give everything is 7 fucking out of 10. Again, the standard. You don't have to fucking believe anymore. But basically, it's not Assassin's Creed fans slamming the decision. It's Assassin's Creed fan calling out Ubisoft's bullshit.
Yes.
Because I'm trying to... Assassin's Creed, set in future Japan, the characters... Yasuke, right. Is again, all these articles are bullshit. I was trying to find one that was neutral, but I can't. They're all basically saying the same thing, is that Assassin's Creed fans are shelling Assassin's Creed. Now, what they're doing is they're calling out the fact that Ubisoft said one thing, backpedaled and said another thing, and then said something else, and then backpedaled again and said the same thing again.
Put it that way.
So again, this is the Assassin's Creed World trailer. I don't know if it's the issues in it. So they've already... Let's get it on the bigger screen so you guys can see it. Can I let the screen studio? So what they've done, again, is a classic tactic, especially in this day and age, is they've mixed PS5 and PC footage. So you don't know which is console and which is PC. Again, this is a common practice now. It's annoying because I wish they'd just be honest and just go, this is what it looks like on console, this is what it looks like on PC. Or maybe do a comparison. And again, a lot of this is cinematic, not actual gameplay. So you don't know what's gameplay and what's cinematic. guessing this is also cinematics. I'm guessing this is also cinematics, or it's heavily rendered gameplay, so you've got no idea if it's legit or not. No idea.
You left guessing.
This is gameplay, but again, very heavily rendered. So this isn't what the game will look like on your rig or console. This is over-embellished footage that's been put through many hours of re-rendering. And again, mixture between cinematic and gameplay, so you don't know what's real and what's not. Game volume's a little bit high. Turn down a little bit. So you don't know what's legit and what's not. Again, that could be gameplay, that could be an in-game cinematic. So there is a lot of cinematics in Assassin's Creed, as you guys know. It didn't really show any in-game cut, because again, this is the world trailer, right? It barely showed any combat. It barely showed any kind of interaction between the characters. It didn't show you dismounting and remounting the horse, which is funny as fuck. I wish I could find footage. Maybe we'll do a separate video on this. But the in-game, the combat, the simple interactions like picking something up, putting something down, it looks so shit.
So they purposefully
just given you re-rendered footage on the trailer. And again, it is a common practice. Does not just Ubisoft that does it. I'm not going to start going on a witch hunt against Ubisoft. So many companies do this now. But again, it's coming to a point where, games are $70 to $100 each.
They're not cheap, and
you want proof, or you at least want benefit from separating from that amount of money out of your bank account to know that you're going to get a decent game and not a pile of shit.
Yeah.
But when they show you something like that, which just shows you nothing from the game, and again, this was 9 days ago, so this is the latest trailer.
My gosh.
And it showed you nothing.
No.
That's not going to make me want to spend money on the game. I want to see in-game footage. I want to see a developer take me through a mission in the game. This is what I want to see. I don't want to see this. But because it's been so heavily criticised, they're frightened to release footage. And the review window, so people that they're going to give the game to, they're only going to give it 4 days before the game's released. So with Outlaws, they gave publications a 2-week lead, which was a fucking mistake, because when people started to see the actual game footage, they're like, nope. But then like this, they're giving press a 4-day lead, so they've only got 4 days to review the game, and this game's something like 50-60 hours long. So how are you going to review the game if you don't play it all the way through? So somebody's going to have to sit there
and analyze
everything in 4 days before the release, and people have pre-ordered it. Although the pre-orders they've gone down. I think the pre-orders for the last Assassin's Creed game was up 60% to this one. I think the pre-orders for this are very, very low.
And understandably.
I'd have to find numbers.
But just got to briefly touch upon about the hip-hop beats over the music when the character came into some of the other vids as well. The music wasn't a choice for some people as well.
Yeah, the hip-hop beats. I mean, like, there's been loads of animes in the past which have used hip-hop music. Afro Samurai, which is, again, is a great fucking anime, but it's complete fiction. None of it's real.
Nothing depicts of anything from a previous history.
You got Samurai Champloo as well. Again, all of it's a hip hop soundtrack, but it was all mixed in Japan, so it's like Japanese hip hop. But again, there's nothing wrong with the soundtrack. The soundtrack was great because it matched the vibe of the show. But this is like
the aesthetic and the music
Assassin's
is completely
Creed
different.
In feudal Japan. Why the fuck is there hip hop music?
Very good point there.
In all the games I've played. Every Assassin's Creed game, from even the shit one, Rogue, that I couldn't fucking stand, with the guy that doesn't know what an Irish accent sounds like, because he's like Welsh, Irish, Scottish, then back to Irish again.
Maybe that was what they were intending then.
Well, if they were, let's get better fucking voice actor. I've played it through. I've played every Assassin's Creed game, and in every Assassin's Creed, except for the bits where you go into the future or present day, when you come out of the Animus, all the music supports or matches the time period, right? So this is the first game in the Assassin's Creed universe where they've used modern music to depict a character that's meant to be in feudal Japan. Now again, I'll say again, if it wasn't virtual signaling or if it wasn't DEI or Sweet Baby Inc., why the fuck is that in the game? If they just made a character completely like, I don't think anybody would really have, or Japan would not have a fucking issue with it if they just made up the character. If you want it to be black, awesome. If you want to make him black, cool. If he's a good character and he's got a good story, I'm still 100% on board with it. Again, it's not like they keep saying it's down to race. It's nothing to do with race, guys. It's nothing to do with sexuality. It's down to poor fucking writing.
Every time.
Poor writing, poor game design, poor story, poor everything. Everything's just poor. And we're so used to middle ground games and movies because we've been force-fed them now for the past 20 years. This is what we expect. So when we do get a diamond in the rough, i.e. Space Marine, Wukong, whatever, we're like, the fuck, why are we not getting this all the time? Because to get those games made, they've had to go through the fucking mill. If you go to, you can look, again, this is all fact, you can look it up on the internet. I'm not going to start trolling through loads of articles because it's boring as fuck, but you can look at this all on the internet as well. This is all fact. Wukong was targeted by Sweet Baby Inc. and woke media. It's the only way to or access media, whatever the fuck you want to call them. They were targeted and said, your game will never be a success because we're going to stop it from happening because you've got no diverse cast. It's all men. There's no women. You know, there's no people. There's nobody representing the community.
They weren't going to stand for
it's
it.
Ancient fucking China. Made by Chinese developers in China.
China.
Why would there be diversity in China? Like ancient China? It's fucking mind-boggling. Like, you just can't, like, what? And again with Assassin's Creed, it's a push in feudal Japan that would be a black guy that's 6'6" walking around in samurai armor. I'm sorry. But if you want to get fucking technical or pedantic, but that aside, if he was completely fictional, without
Epic.
the fucking racist hip-hop beats behind the fucking... Because that's made it racist. Why the fuck has he got hip-hop beats? Why couldn't he just have awesome pan flow? Like the Japanese characters got, the chick. Why has it got to be hip-hop? It doesn't make any fucking sense. I just don't fucking get it. And I like this. I've been a developer. I was a developer for nearly 20 years. On and off. And I never had to. I've never like the mentality of the development world now is fucking insane. I'm hoping, and I think a lot of people are hoping as well, that this is the tail end of it. Like this is because again these games have been in development now for 5, 6 years, 10 years, etc. So this is like the drips and drabs of the DEI bullshit that they've been trying to toss at everybody for the past 5 or 6 years. So we're hoping this is the end of it.
Let's
And
hope.
games like Wukong and Space Marine, where they are just about the narrative, they are just about the story, they are just about the characters, the good story, graphics, playability, gameplay, and that is what they're about. And there's nothing else to it. There's no message, there's no bullshit. You just get dropped in a fucking mess and have some fun. And that is what gaming should be. Gaming should be, you get lost in the story, you leave the real world behind, and then when you take your headphones off, you can go back to reality again. The fact that they're forcing reality into games is insanity.